How's it going, everyone? My name is Ibrahim Qureshi, President of Basketball Operations, and with me is my co-host with the most, the Commissioner of Abdurrahman Hussain. And you know what time it is. It's Heat Check. Welcome to our second episode of Heat Check, and today we're discussing who is the most underrated player in our league. I think that's a fair topic of discussion. I think that's something that comes up a lot. So we're just going to kick things off and pass off to Abdurrahman and let him kick it off. Who do you think arguably is the most underrated player in our league?
Clear-cut, underrated player, no questions asked, Abdul-Jabbar. Abdul-Jabbar Sharif averaged 9 points per game, 8 rebounds, 2.5 steals.
Okay.
He's picked in the second, third round. He's considered a low IQ player. People forget this kid's a champion. 2-time champion. One in high school, where he won one for Calgary Islamic School. They didn't win one before him. They didn't win one after him. And they never mentioned him in the championship team. And he's went to the finals with the Heat. And he went to the finals with the Pirates and won with the Pirates. So this guy has a tradition of winning.
Okay.
He's a lefty that can shoot threes.
Sure.
He's got the mid-range, he's got the inside, he's got the hustle.
You're just trying to emphasize a bunch of different points, and I get what you're trying to say, but I don't think he's arguably the most underrated player in our league. I think the most arguably underrated player in our league is Fahad Sattar.
Not a chance.
Okay, absolutely. First off, he's not a basketball player. The guy's a former varsity rugby player who started just playing basketball afterwards for fun. He comes into our league, becomes a top-round pick right away, and back-to-back, he's made playoff appearances. He had a lack of attendance this season, which held him back, but at 12 points, 8.5 rebounds a game, his stats already trump Abdul-Jabbar's, without a doubt. Okay, and he's about almost 2 assists a game, okay? And now you're going to make another argument, which I'll give you the time for, about different players and sporting casts, but that's a different argument. But the reality is, his presence is felt, and him having a bad game is probably the only reason why they didn't win in that playoff series against the Falcons. He is arguably the most underrated player.
Not a chance. The fact that you mentioned he's not a basketball player, but rather someone who just plays basketball, picked in the first round, 4th overall, tells me he's overrated, right? You got a guy who doesn't have basketball ability that people are assuming that he's going to be good at basketball purely on physique. I get it. He's Mr. Muscles. He looks good no matter what he wears. But the reality is, this guy's at high risk, high reward. He loses his cool. Yeah, he gets called for charges all the time. He's the easiest guy to draw charges with. I can tell you from experience.
How many times has he fouled out? Okay, before we start talking about fouls, that entire Pirates team is foul prone and foul driven.
That's true, but that's
and
a culture
Abdul-Jabbar is a tremendous guy for picking up those fouls. He's not as high prone as a lot of his other players. He probably gets about 3 or 4 a game. If you're going to knock a guy for hustle, tenacity, and heart, you're basically saying Zayn Sattar is garbage. You're saying Zahid is garbage on that same large. No. Because they're the same type of high motor player, which are not the orthodox basketball player, but they play with such a high energy, put the ball in the basket. You have to remember that Fahad Sattar hasn't been voted for any awards, no SMBL All-Star nomination. You know who got a nomination and was at the All-Star game? Abdul-Jabbar. You know who many guys regard as an elite basketball player? Abdul-Jabbar. How many guys in the league can you go honestly ask and get an opinion and say, hey, I think Fahad Sattar is a top player? You'll probably get a handful of players, and 2 of them are in this room today.
First of all, the people you're asking about Fahad's game are guys who are 18, 19-year-old kids, all from the same culture group, that don't know anything about basketball. Right?
They're basketball players, man. If you're a basketball player, you should know the sport. How can you play a sport you don't know nothing about?
No, that happens all the time. We've seen guys with low IQ play in our league. We accept all.
Fair enough.
Right? This league's about growing. At the same time, Fahad is a hardworking, all that stuff. He has all that, but he doesn't have the skill. Abdul-Jabbar has the exact same stuff, same work ethic. He's got the skill. He's not picked in the first round. He's not picked in the second round. This guy's coming off 3rd round picks.
I think there's 2 things. There's 2 reasons why. First off, there's a negative stigma around him, including the lack of IQ, which I think is an unfair criticism to him. So I'll agree with you there in terms of he does get snubbed a little bit there. But in terms of overall performance and ethic, you mentioned him making it to the finals. Well, he's always had great supporting casts. On the Heat team, he had Abdurrahman Bush and Salim, 2 elite guards and scorers. He had MSN as a mid-range machine. And he had Abdul Latif, arguably a great coach. All right, second season, he's on the Pirates. Mobin, the MVP of the season, MVP of the finals. And then he has Abdurrahman Bush again. And he has Maksud, an elite scorer off the bench.
Maksud's not a league scorer.
No, he's statistically one of the best mid-range shooters in our league.
Anyone can be statistically good at mid-range if you're left open. They cover Bush,
hey man,
they cover Mobin.
If you put the ball in the basket, I'm going to give you respect and your props, right? So I'm not going to take that away from him. And that's a fair point, right? If a guy's open, you should make the shot. But I think you're not overlooking at the fact that pieces being around. On that Cobras team, there was guys missing in that playoff series, but Fahad Sattar had to step up.
One guy missed.
Yes, Zayn was missing in one series.
No, Zayn was there.
Okay, either way, he is a key part of why they're so successful. Look at
Hold
that.
on.
Look at the Sharks
You're
team.
talking about Sharks team. You got the best, in my opinion, the best 3-point shooter in the league in Haitham. I think many people argue with that. You also have the smartest player ever to play in our league, Mr. Rami Hamalawi.
Yeah.
Right? You have two, and let's not talk about Sabil's efficient passing, Mustafa Samantar, Zamir.
I don't actually think the passing was that efficient because the reality was in the last 2 minutes, Haitham didn't touch the ball, and they needed a basket. Let's not talk about passing culture because that's a different argument.
That team
Stick
was
to
a
the subject
stacked
of
team.
who is the most underrated player. You're getting onto team dynamics now, and I think you're missing the point.
Abdi Jabbar, for a guy who doesn't get opportunity, because you have to look at the team around him. The
Sure.
stats he's pulling was with few touches. I can get 15 points a game
His
on 100
stats are
shots.
pure hustle, putbacks, second chance
And
points, and I respect that.
You respect it, but you are the minority,
Absolutely.
and that's what makes him underrated.
But I think the same argument is there for Fahad.
Not
But
to the same
that
level.
is all the time we have for this week's episode of Heat Check. Who do you think is the most underrated player? Let us know in the comment section below. Do you think it's Abdi Jabbar? Do you think it's Fahad? Or do you think it's someone else that we've missed? Let us know. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you're interested in knowing what's next week's topic, well, we'll give you a little snippet. We're talking about jersey designs. So I hear there's murmurings of new logos,
Yeah.
new designs, new color waves. So that's exciting. And there's a chance that the league name might change. So it's all exciting stuff. And there's only one place to check it out. And you know what that place is? Heat Check.